Hey everyone, Social Coach Michael Knight here, and today what we're going to be talking about are the personality traits, how to act if you want other people to enjoy your company and want you to be around them. Now, in other past videos, I talk about traits like, how to be more interesting, how to be funnier, how to come off being more attractive. All those things are important and they're great to learn. But what we're going to be talking about today is even more basic than that. We're going to be talking about some basic personality traits that if you simply correct them, other people are really going to start enjoying your company more. You're going to start getting invited out to, the business lunches. People will be asking what you're doing on the weekend, inviting you to parties. So if that interests you, stay tuned. But before we get into it, please remember to like and subscribe, since that'll be doing me a huge favor when it comes to helping me grow this channel. And also a big shout out and thanks to my Patreon subscribers. If you haven't become one, please consider doing so and you'll get access to a bunch of bonus material. So what's the first trait? The first trait's very basic: positivity. Not being a negative Nelly all the time. You know what they say, the famous saying, if you have nothing nice or constructive to say, perhaps it's better not saying anything at all. Simply, people want to be surrounded by positive people, not only in work, but especially in social settings. I always tell my clients that, positivity is the currency of the night, especially when the millionaires are trying to impress people with money, right? And they're trying to count out the cash when they're paying, I'll pay drinks for everyone and count it all out. I'm like, yeah, that's great. I'm sure they're happy to get the free drink. But you know what's the real currency in this environment? Positivity, fun, having a good time, positive emotions. If you can bring that to a group, they're gonna love your company. I'm really into what some people would call lifestyle engineering, building your dream lifestyle. I've done it for myself, I help other clients do it for themselves. And for example, I want positivity in my life. So what does that mean? It even comes down to the clients I decide to work with. This is a big thing Tim Ferriss describes in his book, The 4-Hour Workweek, like firing your own clients. It's if that client doesn't bring positivity the majority of the time, if they don't have a good attitude, if they're more trouble than it's worth, I don't want their money. I would just rather not work with them. They have an attitude where they're probably not going to be too successful anyway just because of that attitude. So it's maybe not even worth their time. But for me, it's not worth the money to have that negative energy in my life. Most people, that's how they trade, it's sad, but that's how most people live their lives, right? They trade their time for money and they trade their time doing something they would perhaps not want to be doing in order to make a living. But ideally, if you can make a living without doing that and you have some options, like what is the value of life? What's so important in life? Friends and freedom and doing what you want and just having positive emotions in your life from your friends. And everyone wants that positivity in their life. So don't bring any negativity into other people's lives and they'll want you around. If they feel like you're the negative person, they're going to try to avoid you. It's that simple. Okay, what's the next trait that if you have it, other people will want you around them more? Well, that is being happy or finding inspiration in other people's successes. A lot of people have a scarcity mentality themselves. They see everything as a zero-sum game. Instead of seeing it like, oh my God, someone's achieved this, if it's possible for them, then it's possible for me, and seeing it as an inspiration, instead they see it as, oh, that's just less for me because he now has more. People don't want those type of people around them. The perfect example is when I was doing my master's degree, one of my friends in Germany, he bought a new car. And it wasn't like a super fancy new car, but it was his first car. Because in Germany, it's not like America where you get your license at 16. They get it at 18, and maybe getting their first car is not till their 20s sometime, if they ever own a car, because they have public transportation. So he was in his early 20s. He just got his first car, a nice BMW, not like super fancy, but decent. It's a nice car. And I thought when he said, oh, I got a car, I was thinking America first car, kind of a beat up used car, I was imagining it. And I came and I saw it and I was like, oh my God, man, this is great. This is such a nicer car than I thought it would be. He's like, wow, man, thank you so much. You're the first person to actually compliment me on it. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, in my laboratory where I work, all the other people were just like, well, why do you need a car? Is a bicycle not good enough for you? The city's not that big. I don't understand why you just can't ride your bike every day. And it's not like it's a Ferrari either. It's just a basic car. And they're still jealous of the fact that someone else has something now a little bit more than they have. And that's really was off-putting to my friend, understandably. The next trait, don't be a person who complains and whines about everything. Instead, be a person who takes the hand they're dealt and looks how to maximize the best solution for what they got. No one wants a person around who's not adding constructively, who is only complaining, making a bad situation even worse without contributing any kind of a solution or how to do things better. Valid criticism is okay, but constantly complaining about something you can do nothing about is just a complete waste of time and energy. The next trait is to be an honest person. That is, a person who's straight up about things. A person who, when they're asked about something, they give their honest answer, and if they don't know, they don't lie about it. And if they make a mistake, they don't hide behind other people or hide behind excuses. This reminds me of this guy I worked with all the time, and he would always run around saying, I'm putting out a fire, I'm putting out a fire, I'm putting out a fire. Yeah, but they're all fires that you started, and you can't actually put them out. You can tend to them, you can try to suppress them, you can almost never actually extinguish these fires, because without the truth and people knowing really what's going on, instead you're just trying to cover your own ass the whole time, nothing can really get fixed. And if you put as much time into actually doing what you should be doing and saying, hey, I don't know this, or hey, I made this mistake, and then having the team effort move from that point, accurate, understood point forward, we'd get a lot more done. But instead, you'd actually get more done. But instead, you're getting nothing done because you're always just tending to past mistakes that you're trying to hide from people because you're not being honest about it. And that's not only, that was a work example, right? But it doesn't only apply to that. It applies to relationships, personal relationships, business relationships, not just like physical work, but a lot of aspects of life. If you're simply honest and people know where you stand, and you can then know how to move together to the next level. And that's very hard to do if you're not all on the same page to start with. And the final trait I'm going to leave you with is a willingness to learn. Of course, general competence and intelligence, these are very important things, especially when making a team. But having a willingness to learn, a person, especially when they also have a willingness to take the initiative to learn, these people will often go farther in the long run than a person who might have some natural talents just to begin with. So if you've decided that you're ready to take action and take your social skills to the next level so you can build that dream life that you've always wanted, I provide one-on-one coaching, and an application to this is linked to in the description below. As always, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, ciao.